wasn't my first sport. My father picked our sports for us, and he picked my first sport, and it was speed skating. And I should have been a speed skater, but I'm in a race at 7, and I'm going around the ice, and I get clipped, and I fall on my head. And my father picked tennis because he thought, this is a safer sport.
Well, if you take all the tennis people in St. Louis, Pat would be in the top 3 or 4 as far as her influence. And if that doesn't get you in the Hall of Fame, I don't know what does.
I felt people had forgotten that I could play. And I wanted to remind, myself and kind of everybody else I was working with, especially my students, that I could play tennis. Each year, the USTA picks who they consider the top 4 in the age division based on how you've done in the tournaments. And those years, in 2013, I had a pretty good year in both singles and doubles, so I made the team. And then it came back again, 2017 to 2000, and this year I had pretty good years in both singles and doubles.
She is definitely a serve and volleyer. She's definitely aggressive. She definitely closes the net off. And at 5'1" or 2, she's not really afraid of the lob.
But when I sat down to interview her, she came in and, I'm going to do this, I'm going to hit with every member of the club, I'm going to do leagues, I'm going to do clinics, I'm going to give them all lessons. And I said, well, I can't hire this woman, and I won't have anything to do. So that ended that, and then a few years later, with World Team Tennis, we hired her, and she's been a fantastic source of income for the club. And if you just look at all the thousands of people in St. Louis that have benefited for World Team Tennis, that's why she's so important to us.
My approach is a little bit different from a lot of tennis pros. I'm concentrating more on their mental and their strategic and how it feels.
You got to remember that we didn't know how to hit the ball. We didn't even know the rules, really, of tennis. And it was like we were her star students.
Just by playing with her and against her has made me a better player, but not via instruction, just by observing her,
If I can just give them a small snippet that can change what happens in their match, and they come off a winner and they come up and say, Pat, you told me to close in, I closed in, I got the job done. That's why I coach. I'm very, very grateful to the St. Louis tennis community, because if I don't get the courts, if they don't allow me to have the courts for World Team or to teach on, I can't do what I do.
Not everybody that's excellent at something is a good teacher. Not everyone that has gifts like that can use it for other people's advantage. She shares that.
My students wrote letters for me, and I didn't see the letters until Dee Wharton, who organized all the letters, sent them to me, and it just kind of took my breath away. The wonderful things people wrote about me, it was kind of the best ever.